2, 1. Good morning, Hillman Cancer Center. Happy, beautiful Wednesday to you. I'm Danielle Petrina, the project manager, and this is Angela Zaccanini, our registered dietitian who focuses on lifestyle nutrition. Today, we are bringing to you a hot spinach apple salad. The months of November and December, we're going to be focusing on desserts and side dishes with the holidays coming up. So just get ready to be involved in a little bit more flavorful, calorie rich recipes. But you know, we talk a lot about this. This is what lifestyle nutrition is. It's about balance. It's about enjoying the holidays, especially, you know, kind of our first holiday out of COVID.
Right.
So we can be around loved ones again, which is so nice. And so we want you to enjoy and celebrate. We're going to show you how to do that in a manageable way. So Ange, kick us off.
Okay. So this particular recipe is from Taste of Home, which I believe is still a magazine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I really like this recipe for the fact that it has a hot dressing. I think that is such a great addition to a side dish for the holidays.
Yes.
Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think it would be excellent at both.
Yes.
But when it comes to recipes like this that uses bacon, brown sugar, you know, immediately you think maybe it's unhealthy.
Right.
So there is some ways you can adjust it. So we'll talk about the ingredients. You are going to use 6 bacon strips. You're going to use a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. You're going to want 2 large red apples and 1 medium red onion that we have Danielle cutting right now so that we both cry on set. And then spinach is going to be the base for your salad. So
one thing real quick. Our chat is up. We have it right here, so that's what I'm looking at. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free. We'll catch them and talk about it or acknowledge it. Go ahead.
Great. Okay. So first thing you're gonna want to do is grab your skillet. A cast iron skillet would be great, or just any non-stick skillet, because you are going to want to use the fat from the bacon.
Yum.
In the dressing.
I mean, there is nothing like good crispy bacon.
No, there's not.
Right?
There's really not.
I mean, also, and you know, when Ange and I were like hemming and hawing over this recipe, like,
yeah,
you could also use turkey bacon, but you know, just realize that there is a little bit more sodium in something like that.
Yep.
But I love turkey bacon.
Yeah.
Turkey bacon's great.
I think too, like for this particular recipe, you're going to want to use like real bacon bits. So once it becomes crispy enough, you're going to want to break it up so that it is its own bacon bits. Now, turkey bacon doesn't really do that well. I mean, it does, but it's just not the same.
You gotta, well,
it's just not
the same. Yeah, I microwave mine. This obviously, these freaking onions. Woo! All right.
We only need 3/4 cup, so honestly, that may be good.
I'm gonna measure because I really don't want to do this.
Yeah. So turkey bacon, it's going to be lower in fat, but yeah, it may be higher in sodium.
Right.
So you have to consider that, and you know, think about what you want to adjust in your particular recipe. You can even omit the bacon bits completely, and maybe add a protein source like walnuts.
Oh yeah,
I think walnuts would be a great addition to this recipe.
I think that would be great. I just don't know what you would do for the
dressing.
Yeah, because thank you. Gosh. Yep. Woo, looking for words, people.
If you aren't going to be using bacon and you want to figure out how to make the dressing, just add olive oil.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that has fat.
It has fat, but the whole idea is to put it in a skillet, warm it up, but you could do that with olive oil.
Absolutely.
You know, throw the olive oil in, add your cider, add your brown sugar. Now, this particular recipe makes 10 servings. So 1 serving is only 117 calories, 135 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of protein, but 7 grams of fat. So it is a little bit higher in fat.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry. Do you want to put that somewhere so it's not in your face?
I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here and cry for a minute. That's fine.
I was watching our one video and I was like, we were both like this. Just like blinking the whole time.
It was real.
Yeah.
That smell of bacon is also real.
It's so great. Yeah. So with, I don't even know what we were talking about. Onions.
You said 17 grams of something that I.
7 grams of fat.
Gotcha.
So again, one serving, again, if you're having it as a side dish, that's nothing.
No.
You know?
No.
And the thing about bacon is it's high in saturated fat, which is obviously not good for our triglyceride levels, our cholesterol levels, our blood pressure. So this is something you want to limit. But if it's for a dish like this, or it's every once in a while for breakfast, why not?
Right. Well, and also you're not eating all of this.
No, you're getting bits of it
You're
in
getting
your
bits
salad.
of it. So we're just making some. So again, we want to enjoy ourselves. If bacon is something that you've been missing and you like it and it's a treat, do this. My mom makes a similar salad like this, and it does actually call for the bacon fat, and it is the warm dressing. It actually just because sometimes I feel like salads, like especially like when we get into the winter time, like it's so hard to eat a salad for lunch. You're like, I'm cold.
I know.
And I want warm.
I want soup.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really good way to just, look at this dressing and use it in these
Definitely.
colder months.
I agree. So while the bacon is frying up in that pan, I also like to bake my bacon like on a baking sheet. And
Let it all drip.
It really gets crispy
Yeah.
that way. But you kind of have to flip it, do all that stuff. But I enjoy it that way. But for this particular recipe, because we want that bacon fat, the skillet is the way to go.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll make sure our audience gets a peek of this so
Yeah.
you can just see how well done this is going to be. It's kind of not there yet, so we'll go there. But Ange, you're chopping up some apples.
I am. So you're
Nice.
just going to want to thinly slice these apples. Whoa.
And not lose a finger,
Right.
please.
So we may be having a chef come on site in 2023 and help me with some cooking demos.
Yeah.
And we had some feedback about knife skills.
Right, yeah. So Ange sent out an email to our distribution list of things that you would kind of like to know from a chef perspective.
Clearly we're not.
Yeah, because we're not. But
We're not.
we want to also be able to offer that to you. So I think like that I know top two were more salmon dishes.
Yeah, seafood.
And knife cutting skills.
Yep.
And
knife
what was
skills.
the other one? I can't remember. Or was there another one?
I feel like it was advanced cooking.
Advanced
But
cooking.
in an easy way. Which,
Yeah. But maybe just it being shown to you would
Yeah.
help for it to be easy.
Right.
So stay tuned. We're hoping to launch that actually around the second quarter of 2023.
Yep.
We're not going to give away the chef's name quite yet as we're still confirming, but you would know who this person is.
Yeah,
And
it's
you will be
something to
excited.
look forward to. I
Yeah.
think because we aren't chefs, we're showing you in a real perspective, but you can definitely get advanced in your kitchen
Absolutely.
and make certain dishes that maybe you feel intimidated by.
Yep.
But I think that's maybe what this suggestion was. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh, I can't do that.
Guys, I just want to let you know that Ange has, after a year and a half of heckling her, has officially watched Julie and Julia.
If you
the
haven't
movie.
watched it, watch it. It's on Hulu. I watched it twice in a week.
I know. So, I mean, again, it's about this woman who takes Julia Child's recipes. It's a true story.
It is a true story.
And takes her recipes and, we'll see if the average person can cook them. And she does. And she does obviously with its kinks, like anything in life. So, but it's a good lighthearted film.
It is. I enjoyed it very
Ange,
much
I've
so.
been literally yipping.
So now
to
when
Ange.
Danielle makes comments about Julie and Julia, I'll know what
Yeah,
she's talking
like,
about.
now
'Cause
you're
before
in.
I would just laugh and I'm
She's
like,
in.
"Oop."
You're like, okay, I don't get what this crazy lady is saying. That's fine.
Yeah, so I very much enjoy cooking, but a lot of those recipes in Julia, they're pretty advanced.
Was it like boning a duck or something?
Boning a duck, and then
I
that beef bouillon.
I don't know. I don't actually know what I'm saying, but I just go. But also even just poaching an egg. It was very like I mean we poached an egg one time here. We should
We
probably
did.
bring it back now
I
that we have
think we
better
did pretty
camera.
well with it,
And we
too.
did. You did a great job.
Yeah.
You crushed it. Poached eggs are lovely. It's like a cheesy buttery cream sauce.
Yeah, it's like its own natural hollandaise.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, in school, to get a nutrition degree, you have to take cooking classes. So
Seems
we
appropriate.
took a foods lab class, and then we had something called experimental foods, which was really cool because you cooked a recipe once as is,
Okay.
and then you had to cook it 3 more times and alter the ingredients.
Oh, wow.
So the same recipe, but say for this particular recipe, we would use turkey bacon with one.
Okay.
And then maybe we would do no sugar in the other one.
Okay.
Or maybe using the olive oil instead of the bacon fat, or omitting, you know what I mean? So you would adjust the recipe based on the ingredients, but make it original at first.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool because, and I think I still do that in my cooking. Like if I look at a new recipe, I will make it exactly as is first.
Yeah.
And then if I'm like, this needed less salt, or maybe I needed to add a little bit more olive oil. So I think that was a cool way of learning how to cook and adjust some of the ingredients, because, you know, that's the great thing about cooking.
Right.
You can alter it as much as you want.
Baking, no. Cooking, yes.
Definitely
you
not.
can definitely do that. And I you know, for our type A people, I'm in that game with you as well. I know that can feel not lovely to be like, I don't know, I just want directions and I want it to all be the same. But, you know, we try to be here to give you some freedoms to do other things. And let's talk about this recipe a little bit for our audience, especially our cancer population. So taste changes, sores in your mouth, things like that, like yay, nay to this recipe.
Yep. So I think this is a very soothing recipe at the fact that it's warm. You know, so a lot of people want to know how they can get vegetables in, or raw fruits and raw vegetables. This is a good way because it's going to get very soft with that dressing and warm, so it's soothing and comforting.
And salty, too.
And salty, so the taste changes. This is something, and because you're using cider, you're using sugar. I had somebody tell me that a lot of things taste salty right now. So to combat that, you almost want to do more sweet things.
Okay, and you got that.
Right, so this has a combination of everything, but yeah, maybe doing a little bit more of the sweet instead of the salt.
What about somebody who's having everything taste like metallic? We hear that a lot, right?
My number one tip for that is to use plasticware instead of silverware.
So smart. Makes sense.
Or avoid canned goods, using a glass instead of those like tumblers.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, to avoid that tinny taste already.
Yeah.
But also metallic, again, swap it out for something tart. Maybe add some more citrus to it.
Okay.
Some different herbs to alter the taste. I also talk about oral care a lot.
Okay.
So not only just brushing your teeth, but doing mouth rinses often.
Okay.
So doing like a baking soda saltwater rinse, using an alcohol-free mouthwash. I think what causes the poor taste too is the fact that dry mouth is such an issue.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a dry mouth, everything seems to taste bad. So not only oral care, but good hydration.
Okay.
So those are just some tips that are common when I talk to my population about that.
Okay.
And, you know, I think people lose their taste, which affects then their appetite.
Sure.
You know, so now they don't want to eat.
Absolutely.
You know, and things don't taste like they did before. So if you have someone that's able to cook for you, or if you have the energy to cook for yourself, start to experiment with some different herbs and spices, some different, you know, flavors. If you don't like spicy, maybe try spicy.
Oh.
You know, because you may be surprised.
You may be surprised what that could be for
Yep,
you.
definitely. How's our bacon looking?
I'm gonna actually, first of all, show our audience what you're doing real quick, so you can just see how Ange is slicing these apple slices down.
Pretty thin.
Pretty thin, but like nice crunch. I really
Can
love
you see
apples.
that?
They're in, yeah, you can see it perfectly, Ange.
Okay, good.
And they are in season right now, so that's also something
Yeah,
to
they're
just
beautiful.
think about as you are, you know, buying produce. I know things are kind of going up a bit more, and so, but you should be able to find those. Oh, and I just actually flipped it over to, oops.
The
Oh,
bacon.
sorry, everybody. Yeah, so you can see the bacon. It takes time to crisp bacon. I agree with Ange. In a way, the oven is a lot to do, but I think that, I don't know, in the end, it might be a little bit faster because this is taking some time. And you can obviously see that grease from the fat really taking
Really
shape.
bubbling up over
Yep.
there.
Yep. All right, so we're still cooking away and just chopping. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I think too,
This is also a really cost-effective side dish.
yeah, it is.
You know, I feel like too, especially like, your holiday side dishes can really call for like even just expensive cheese, goat cheese, things like that.
Ooh.
I know, right? I love goat cheese, but it can get expensive.
Yep.
And so this is not. So
Yeah, and I think it would be a hit.
Yeah.
You know, like a warm apple.
like you wouldn't want this in 90-degree weather in summer.
No,
you
no,
know?
no. This is definitely a fall winter dish, which I enjoy. No, it's good. Now, the thing about the bacon, you would think this is good right now, right? Like, oh, it has browned ends. It's
I would
okay.
not. I would be like,
I'm like, please make it black.
yes, because I don't like rubbery taste. Like that's like a
Texture is such a
texture
thing.
issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, like the texture of things can throw somebody right off.
You want that crunch in this salad.
Definitely. And in order to get it to that bit consistency, like bacon bits, you have to get it crunchy and really well done so that when we put it on our paper towel,
Basically
you
falls
literally
apart.
just like
They crunch it.
yeah. You don't have to do any chopping, cutting. You literally can like ball it up in a paper towel
Yes.
and make those bits. So let's talk about the spinach. High in vitamin A, high in vitamin C, your dark leafy greens, but you could utilize anything you want.
Yep.
Arugula, if you wanted a romaine.
Yep.
If you didn't have spinach on hand, the baby spinach is a good option.
Yeah.
But the thing is with the baby spinach, sometimes it has in the bag, it has those stems that are not as appealing.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make this very visually appealing, you may have to go in and kind of pull all of those.
You're fine. Everybody eats.
Thinking
I'm
about.
not actually like a huge spinach. I've been really into like crunchy lettuce, so like romaine, iceberg, which I know doesn't always necessarily have all the vitamins. But again, my mom recently made this salad, something similar, and the spinach is lovely because that hot, warm dressing will kind of like help it not to get wilty. So just think of that too. It helps the spinach not to feel so like crunchy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And kale
Well,
is another option.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a little bitter.
Yeah,
But
that's very bitter.
the things that you're adding to it
Yeah.
can really be helpful. Arugula is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love the peppery taste of it. I
Salty
love the
taste.
consistency of it, the size of it. I don't know. I'm just really a big fan of that. And I think it would be good with this recipe as well.
Agree.
Yeah. All right. So
It's getting
look at
there.
that
It's
fat.
like, yeah, I know. There's like a ton.
well,
Sheesh.
my grandma would like save all bacon grease.
And do what with it?
Cook. Would utilize it for later and use it as, I mean, that's why everything tastes good. I mean, come on.
So would she like
'Cause you know it gets like very
thick?
congealed.
Yes.
You know, that's the saturated fat
It's like
content.
almost like a wax when it gets like congealed.
Yeah. And you use it as like, almost like a butter,
Yeah.
right? So,
So what would she cook with it? Would she like do like, I just feel like, would she like deep fry chicken in it?
you could do anything with it.
I'm like, all right, well, do we have chicken? Let's
I mean,
do
even
that.
just like for this dressing.
Yeah.
To utilize it as the fat in your food, which again, I'm a dietitian, guys.
Yeah.
I got to remember that.
Yeah. No, but
You know.
you're also a person. So person
But-
first.
And you know, the fact that we're doing cooking for cancer and chronic disease, processed meats are something you do want to limit in
Yeah.
your diet. And you know, for something like this, I think for the holiday season, it comes around once a year,
Yes.
right? So if this was a staple, or you wanted, like for a brunch, a breakfast, a brunch with your family, and you're making bacon, eggs, sausages, the
Yeah.
whole thing, like have it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we should have those negative thoughts or guilt or stress associated with your food choices around the holidays.
Right. I agree.
But we talked about it too, is that weight gain is very common during the holidays.
Oh, obviously, yes.
But enjoy yourself.
Enjoy
you know?
yourself, and like, you know, we also say too, like, you'll notice if you're a person that does tend to eat a little bit healthier, that these foods will make you feel a certain way if you
Yeah,
overindulge.
that's true.
So just, you know, recognize that. I don't know, go for a 20-minute walk, especially with the weather we have been having. But I don't know if that's going to last for the holiday season.
Yeah,
so.
but even so, like bundle up.
Yeah.
Go outside, enjoy it. I mean, sometimes that crisp, cold air.
Oh, yeah.
is
Feels good on the lungs.
so soothing, and it just feels good.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I mean, you're getting lots of benefit here as well. You know, you're getting red onion, you're getting apples, you're getting spinach, so you're getting a mixture of things. Apple cider vinegar, I remember when this was a thing where people would take spoonfuls of this.
Why was that a thing?
I think it was for heart and maybe brain health. I don't know. I mean, I know. I know. But it's like, just include it in your cooking.
Yeah.
Or just try to get variety in your meals. How are we looking here?
I think we're good. I want to show our audience real quick what this looks like, Ange. So we're cutting over to that. So you can kind of see there's a lot of grease in there.
Yep.
But it's pretty thick. I think we're almost there with making that crunchy.
Yep.
You know, and you don't, sometimes you can, I do feel like with turkey bacon, it does crisp up faster in that sense because there's just less fat to it.
Yeah.
The fat is what takes a little bit longer to.
But I think we're looking good. And once you let it sit on a paper towel too, it almost like, it gets harder because, again, like you said, that oil and that fat isn't in there, like causing that liquid.
Yes.
So for the dressing, though, you're not going to use all this fat.
No, just a little bit.
Just 2 tablespoons of it. Okay. So we have to kind of think about how much that is.
Well, why don't we
actually measure?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, so the best way to absorb that fat is, of course, using a paper towel. So you're just going to want to, I know how you know how to make bacon. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, of course. But here, we're going to show a little bit more so you can see. Yeah.
And sometimes I even lay a paper towel over it.
Yeah, just to really kind of blot that.
To blot the extra, whoopsie.
Go ahead. I'm going to show them how you're doing this, Ange. Nice and hot on your hands, I'm sure.
So you can see that, like,
yeah, it's picking up.
Fat coming through. But it's good to just kind of absorb all of that. Okay, so we have some fat here. Lots of it. What's that?
I said, yes, we do. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pour the majority of this in here.
Do you need, oh, you have tablespoons. Okay.
You think that's too?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay. So you do actually want all of this to make it like a glaze.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so we're going to add the vinegar, which is 1/4 cup. Apple cider vinegar.
Do you want me to crunch this up?
Sure.
Okay.
Great.
You're going to hear it. Woo! You're going to hear that, too. Hello.
Definitely lower your heat.
Side note.
Okay, and then you're going to want to add your brown sugar, which again is 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
And I'm just going to use a, what's this called?
Spatula. It's Wednesday.
I feel like Wednesdays are crazier than Mondays for us.
They are.
know?
They're a very busy day around here for us.
Yeah.
In general, our clinic's like hopping. This bacon is hot.
How's it look?
It's good. It's really
okay?
good, Ange. Yeah, actually, I feel like it's perfect. It's not burnt, which is great.
Yeah.
It is really hot though. I'm gonna cut this up like this. Oof.
Okay. So it says to bring it to a boil until the sugar dissolves, which, because it's already in a hot skillet, I mean, I don't even see the sugar anymore. Do you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna switch it over to our audience. You can see. Yeah, so you can see how that's turning a little bit more like glazy, gravy-ish. No, not gravy, but definitely. And you can also see chopping this up, really good bacon bits. Not the kind that you get out of the bag, but hey, if you have to.
The real dill. Dill.
The real dill.
Okay. So I'm going to add our apples on top.
Okay.
Going to add some of that
Let me switch this over, sorry.
beautiful red onion. What a combination of
Yeah.
awesome ingredients here. Okay.
All right.
We ready to add it all together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so. Lovely, very pretty. Go ahead.
Okay, now we're gonna pour this right on top. Perfection.
Look at that, beautiful. You want to tilt it, Ange? I got you right on there so you can see. That's easy to put together, and it looks beautiful. Red, green, Merry Christmas right there.
Love it.
Purple with some other stuff happening. So very pretty.
I love it. And I think on a nice platter,
Yeah.
again, here I am with the visualization.
Yeah, of course,
Like
absolutely.
a beautiful holiday platter. You can lay that out. And we only used 1 bag of spinach because of the bowl size.
Yeah.
But it requires about 12 ounces or 9 cups, which is a 12-ounce bag. These are 5-ounce bags. So at least 2 of these plus another third, some of it.
Yep.
And then, like, we didn't even use this entire 3/4 cup of onion or the apples because, again, our serving dish is just too small.
Right, exactly. And I think also, like Ange said, a platter might be a little nicer so you could spread
laid
all of
out.
that out a bit more, which
Yep.
would be good. So very exciting. So Ange, thanks so much for that. I'm gonna actually just remind everybody about our Ange's email address. So I'm throwing it up here at the bottom. So Ange just sends out 1 weekly email with the link to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And then the link to the recipe and also just a quick brief survey about things that you're looking for to learn. We always love to give you what you want.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
And then obviously, so next week we're cooking a peanut butter brownie baked oatmeal. Yow, that's a lot. So we know you love desserts, so please tune back in for this. It'll be wonderful, delightful, and hopefully you'll learn something new. Thank you so much. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.